All right, I'm camping at the moment. I've got a shovel and a blue tarp, and I'm not afraid to use it. How are you, Corey?
Good, John. How are you going, mate? How are things?
Yeah, well, busy indeed, but it's the back end of the season. Obviously, no cricket last weekend because of the tsunami. You've got one game left this Saturday against. If we'll come back to that, let's just go through the season, Corey. A good start with the one dayers and the Cameron Trask comes back. Things going all right as we always do with white stuff.
Yeah, for some reason we're always trying to do well in the white ball stuff. Someone stands up and generally gets us across the line. I know that it's a team sport, but we obviously need individuals to stand up. And throughout the year, there's been plenty of guys that put their hand up to get the job done. And in those instances, we've done really well. But unfortunately, like most seasons, we probably could have improved in the bowling area. I mean, coming up against all the other teams, they've done better in that area. They've been able to take more wickets than us, and consequently, that's sort of been a bit of our downfall. But I've been very happy with our batting this year. It's been really good. And obviously, one key area for us again is fielding.
With the red ball cricket, I think, it can't be too harsh. We had 6 debutants red ball to start with. I think we used another 6 throughout the season against Redlands. That second day, you batted all day, saved that match there. You went up against Norse, did well. You lifted against the sides higher on the ladder than you. And I think just the word consistency, I think, Corey, is probably what we needed. But we've learned a lot, and I'm really impressed with where we came, not just in Premier grade, but all through the grades. I think we've learned a lot. We'll be good next year.
Well, mate, yeah, we've already had a side of debutants this year. I think we've gone through 10 or 11 caps. I mean, the unfortunate passing of Drones has meant that he hasn't been able to hand them out. But, I mean, giving that many caps away, I can't remember, or I don't know if many other people will be able to tell me when the last time that ever happened. So, I mean, we can't be too down on ourselves for where we are at the moment on the ladder. But there is always next year. But unfortunately, we can't look at it like that. We've got to work on it now so that when we get into the season again, we're ready to go and hit the ground running.
A lot of some of those debutants were players from past years, from the Lord Tabs we mentioned before, the Jordan Kingdons, Mosley, not Mosley, Monley. There's a lot of experience being dished out. Players stepping up in different grades. We did bring home some silverware, and I thought David Toff slotted in. He ended up going to opener. We dropped Nick King back into the middle order. He got a couple of 80s as well. Then we got Liam Hope Shackley. Corey, yourself batted well. You got some 50s. Grayson Jones flourished. Just wasn't all the time. There was like one guy would do one, hopes to do something, you do something, but it wasn't 3 or 4 guys doing well batting in one game. You know what I mean? So the bowlers struggled because they didn't have that backing from the bats on occasion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our bowling lineup at the moment is Monley, Steinhardt, Fraser, Shack, Grayson. At the moment, so modelling our game around then has been very spin heavy because we've been lacking a few pace bowlers with obviously COVID as well. But we're also an extremely young side. I mean, the average age, if you took out our two oldest players, would probably go down to 22. You know what I mean? So it's obviously we just got to grow. There's no other way to look at it other than we need to grow and be able to do what those more experienced sides are, like the unis and the Wests. We've got a lot more older heads. And for some reason, at older age, you're able to know your game a bit better. So in tough situations where, it was one person stand up instead of the team, they're able to all contribute. For example, that there might be a group of them who get 30 and 30 and 30, whereas we might have had one person get 50 and the rest got, so 10 to 15s. So it makes a huge difference.
And I think, as I said, if you can't set a big total, it makes that job a little bit harder for your bowlers as well to try and step up. And they are a young bowling outfit. You got JD, Liam. Liam. He's a good bowler, but I'm not sure whether he's an opening bowler. But I mean, it is what it is. But look, there's the Monley and all those that I mentioned before. If they start stepping up, we can get a few players with a few more runs under the belt. Who knows? I think it's been good in 3rd, 4th grade. Chippy Hanson. Maybe he should play a grade. Johnny Snow. Get the real old guys. Get Stanton. Get Ash back. Pearly had a game. Semi-finals.
Yeah, he even got a run. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was a tough year, but I mean, in and amongst it, we still managed to make a semi-final. And for those young guys to get the experience of it and see how actually different a final is, it's always said and done that the finals are different, but until you actually play one, which would been the first one for them in first grade. It's obviously different, and it's a big stepping stone, and at least there's another positive to get out of the season.
How did you enjoy being skipper for the year, mate?
Yeah, mate, it's good. It is what it is lived up to be. It is tough, but it's really enjoyable. I mean, you're always, at the bottom trying to work your way up. You're always dealing through the gravel. You got to find a way of popping your head up. And with the young side, obviously, I'm still learning. The side's still getting better. But I think it's actually really good instead of coming into a good team, instead of now to have come into a sort of lower team, I can work my way up and really go from top to bottom and hopefully get the club going in a great direction, which I know that the club is so desperately needed for a few years.
All right, then. The season's going to start earlier with the T20s being in August, mate, so there's a short turnaround for everybody. Pre-season will be starting a month earlier as well. It'll be nice to come out of the blocks. Do you like this idea?
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, I think it's tough on the guys who started the T20 competition, the BPL. I mean, I thought that's what that was for, but obviously Queensland Cricket's tried to get in there and get their own thing in there. I don't know if there's a reason for that, but at least it's more cricket for us because, as we know in Brisbane compared to Melbourne and Tassie and all that, we're able to get wickets up earlier in the year. So, I mean, if there's a benefit, we might as well do it. I mean, that's why I went to Darwin last year, just to be able to play cricket. So if there's cricket on here, that's also another benefit.
Yeah, and I think it'd be good for our confidence because as we say, always good with the white ball to go out there and maybe make the semi-finals in the white ball cricket. Look, beyond the reasoning behind it, obviously, is because the heat has struggled so much, and we've been playing T20 while they've already had their contracts out. And I'm still scratching my head how Liam Hope-Sackley didn't get in the 20 in Teal here or anywhere around the country as well. So he was just hitting them and can bowl well. But I think that's the idea, was to try and just showcase what we've got for selection. But if we can get a win there, we build confidence, then we go into 1 days, then we go into 2 days. So I like that progression, T20s, 1 days, and then into red ball. And I'm not really sure what happens in December. But
well, it's great for TV as well, especially the KO, when you're able to get more of the heat players playing in it as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, all good. Speaking of the off-season, mate, are you going to play any cricket in the off-season?
Yeah, potentially looking at going to Darwin, but it might be a bit tough this year, so we'll just see how it pans out.
All right, mate. So, obviously, there's a fair few jobs need done around the house for you to bowl up to Northern Territory, mate. Suck eggs if you've got to stick around.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, how's that lawn going?
Oh, mate, it's got to cut it every single week with this rain.
It is. It's incredible. I do what Mappy does. He just uses poison, the lazy bugger. But anyway, it's usually his own saliva. Hey, listen, look, tough year, but I really am happy with the way we considering how many people. We had new coaching staff as well. We had washouts. We had COVID. It wasn't our full strength side going to the Gold Coast in that semi-final. But and people stepped up like Pooley, to play in that game. It was David and Goliath, even though David did win. But the fact is, we did become the Nesty's got a culture about it now. And I'm not rubbishing in people of the past, but it just seems to be that there's a lot of belief, a lot of people going to training earlier. There's a lot of, what can you say, camaraderie or brotherhood, as Ali calls it. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't want the season to stop. I want us to keep going and see how we go. But before I let you go, Ipswich 50 over game. I don't think, even if they lose, they still become minor premiers. So you can see how the Hornets 5 years ago were where you guys are now. Yeah,
well, they've kept their same group together for at least 3 years now. Not too many have gone from that side. And they've done really well. They've got a really good coach out there. He's been there with him for an extended period of time now as well. And they're one real good thing they do well is they're really good riders, mate. They find ways to get ones when they're batting. They find ways to get dot balls when they're bowling, and they stop everybody running the field. They've got a really good group there, and we need to be obviously working towards a similar sort of direction they went.
Yeah, exactly right. And being out at Ivan Marsden, I suppose, it's too far to travel to play for any other club.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. I've heard that maybe their wicket block was eroded, so I don't know if we'll play on their main field, but we'll have to wait and see.
Corey, mate, all the best. I think it's been a fantastic year for the Seagulls. The awards night, I think anybody's up for grabs for that, for Player of the Year. I think there's plenty of contenders in all grades. Should be a beauty. Remember, kids, Make that phone call the night before to save that awkward one the next day when you go phone the venue to apologise for your behaviour. So just do that the night before. So see how you go. And then try and take the shopping trolley that you got home and back the next morning because they really do need them down there. So, Corey, all the best, mate.
Awesome, Johnny. Cheers, mate.
Thanks, mate. Ta.